Shalom, Kahala Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakal Bardash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, with the house of David reborn again in this generation. And Shalom to the 1/3 Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage, we were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the video we're seeing here, right? I believe this is a Pink Floyd concert or a Pink Floyd memorial concert that took place. I'm not sure where, but this video has been shared around social media. That's where I took note of it, and it's pretty eye-catching because one thing about Pink Floyd, if you haven't followed that band, is that they've always, for the most part, been anti-establishment, right? They've, hence the song that you were hearing, Another Brick in the Wall, right? It basically talks about just being part of the system and going along to get along, right? And from the visuals is the main thing of this lesson, right? Some of the things that were displayed there were some deep truths that that the apostles and me and the other Akim have been, telling everybody that, and also not only us, but the Bible itself has been telling the world that, what these devils, these Edomites, these world, and of the Edomites, when I say Edomites, I'm talking about the Caucasian race, their elites, the top of the Edomite nation, what they have done, right? They have controlled the world through lies, manipulations, and their weaponry for the most part, right? And weaponry of all sorts, from mind control, propaganda, which watching these videos is a form of anti-propaganda, right? It basically uses the form of visuals, or this is what's referred to as liminal, right? Because you got subliminal and then you got liminal, right? Where it's like obvious, like put in your face, right? Now, Esau, the Edomites that are in rulership right now, they use subliminal messaging to get us to do what this video is showing, right? To basically control the narrative, right? This is how they have managed to rule the world, right? How do they control the narrative? Well, through their media, through their weaponry, through their armies, their financial system, which has been weaponized against the world, you, your family, everybody, right? Well, why is that, right? Well, this is why. It's biblical. This is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right? And these are the wicked. These are the Edomites, right? Now, these are just some of the Edomites in the rulership, right? These are some of the top puppets in power, right? You might recognize some of their names. A lot of these have already died off. But again, right behind them is another top Edomite candidate that's going to take their place, okay? But for the most part, the names that you see here, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Kushners, the Blankfields, the Kissingers, Soros, the Bushes, right? These are all names in the top ranks of the Edomite nation, right? And what do? Well, they rule us. They rule everybody in the world, if you believe it or not, right? They control the money, they control the governments, they control us, right? This is why they're all in politics, okay? It doesn't matter if they're not sitting in the seat, they simply have bought in the seats, okay? This is why it doesn't matter who you vote for, the same agenda gets passed. And how do they do that? Well, through their organizations like the World Economic Forum, right? Which is, on the face of it, touted as a good organization that's looking for world peace and prosperity for the inhabitants of the earth. But in actuality, it's actually doing harm to society, right? It's actually causing mass disruption across the world, right? With its new policies that are being pushed, right? Everything we're living through right now, and all the pandemic and everything like that, is all a result of these devils' agenda being pushed forward, right? And what is that agenda? Well, as it said showed in that video, to rule the world. Okay, this is what Esau he's planning on doing. This is Psalm 64:1. Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, and that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Right? Because this right here is talking specifically about these Edomites, right? See, they are the people who hold that, these secret. They're the ones who have these secret counsels of the wicked, right? Because you see, the wicked spoken about in the Bible, throughout the entire Bible, is talking about a certain force, a certain people, right? Which is not really revealed in the beginning of our history, right? Because again, during this time when King David was on the scene, you had the Edomites there. You had the so-called Caucasians there, close to him. But the thing is that, David didn't know that Edom, that nation, would be, well, I'm sorry, I take that back, right? The world at that time did not know that these Edomites, these base men, because again, that's what these Caucasians were back then, man. They were base men, right? They were the lowest of the tribes back then, man. They didn't believe that they were going to take control of the entire world and have the world in such a crazy, state. But again, prophets like David, the other prophets that wrote about them in the Bible, all foreseen the future of these Edomites, right? But again, this is why they refer to them as the wicked, right? Because again, this was something that was a mystery. This is why the Lord even called this the mystery of iniquity, right? Because the power was in the world, but it had not fulfilled its a grand scale yet, which is what we're living through right now, where these devils are in rulership, right? And they have everything under their thumb, right? And not only that, but they're actually going to seek to go even further with their goals and their agendas. And what is that? Well, let's read this first before I get into what their agenda is. This is Job 20:23. When he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Right? And what is that? Well, like I said, that right there is or what is this filling their belly? Well, that's their world agenda. That's their goal of world domination, right? And what we're living through right now is them beginning to actually bring this forth, right? And let's go ahead and read this, just what one of their top noblemen, I guess you'd call him, right? David Spangler. He's works at the UN. He's kind of like a big time author over there. He says this: no one will enter the New World Order unless he or she will make a pledge to worship Lucifer. No one will enter the New Age unless he will take a Luciferian initiation. Now, what is David, the Edomite, talking about here? Well, and he's talking about Esau's agenda, right? Which is to microchip the inhabitants of the world, namely you Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. And why is that? Well, because you are the Israelites. This is how Esau can get back his birthright, right? The promise and ultimately the rulership, the continual rulership, I should say, of the world. Because he knows that once the Lord comes back, which is going to soon be upon us, that he shall be taken out of power, and that the Israelites, the Negro Latino Native Americans, who are the inheritors of that birthright and promise that the Lord gave to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to be co-rulers with the Messiah, is going to go to us, and he ultimately is going to be taken out of power. Well, he doesn't want that. But what did the Lord say? Well, we just read it. When he is about to fill his belly, right? When he is about to bring forward his new world order, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So right now, Esau is eating, man. His agenda is going through. Things are being locked down. People are being, ushered in to his new world order, right? And just like David Spangler said, this is where Esau is leading the masses to taking these MOTBs, right? Either in your right hand or in your forehead, right? And they're doing it really slick. They're basically, you got Elon Musk out there pushing the Neuralink to make it seem like it's some sort of, technological miracle. And you got, right now people like Dangerous Devices and all these other little, tiny firms out there touting the benefits of being able to unlock your house without keys, right? But ultimately, you're going to have tons of people who are going to fall for this, right? And we know that 2/3 of our people, 2 out of every 3 Negro, Latino, Native Americans are going to fall for this and are going to take it, right? And they're going to give, for the most part, their souls to Esau, right? Unbeknownst to them, that's what they're going to ultimately do. But again, this has been prophesized, and there's really nothing that can be done against this because this is written in the book, and this is the way the Lord wants it, right? But ultimately, once these devils have gotten to a certain point, the Lord is going to say, no more. This is Isaiah 51:22. Thus saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and thy power that pleadeth the cause of his people, behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. Right? So when we're out there saying that the Lord is taking these curses off of us, this is what it's talking about, right? The Lord is taking that cup of indignation, that cup of curses that we've been basically drinking for the last few centuries, right? He's now going to ultimately pass this cup of curses and indignations onto somebody else. And guess what? That's Edom, the nation of Esau, right? The so-called Caucasians, they're going to drink of it. Verse 23, but I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee. And who afflicts the Negro, Latino, Native Americans? Who are you seeing constantly shooting us down in the streets, right? Who do you see putting all these oppressive legislation upon us, man? Well, it's very clear and evident, if you're not going to lie to yourself, is these Edomites, is the so-called Caucasian race, right? And only recently has it turned hidden, right? Because before, back when they were squarely in their rulership, it was very overt and not hidden at all, right? You had things like laughing barrels, man, because they didn't even want to see us laughing. So where that's where that term, it's funner than a barrel of laughs comes from, man. Because if they had seen any of the Southern Kingdom brothers, right, the so-called Negroes, laughing, that Judite would be in trouble, right? And so what they did is they basically would stick barrels in like the city squares and area where if a Southern Kingdom brother had to laugh, they had to go to one of these laughing barrels and basically stick their head in there, so that way these Edomites wouldn't see them joyful, man. These Edomites have a lot of shit to fucking pay for, man. Let's continue. Which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over, right? And that's, again, talking about us Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? Because we've bowed down to the oppressor, right? This is why Esau is over us, man, along with all the other nations that he's brought along to the party, okay? But again, that time is soon coming to an end, because again, things like this, right? The Lord has made Esau bare, right? He's, for the most part, is telling upon himself, and his secrets are being revealed, right? And it's only a matter of time before the hands of the wicked, the hands of the laborers are upon him, and the Lord strikes him through and destroys his agenda. So hopefully this video was edifying. Until next time, I want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakok Radash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom.